I thought practice one, our guys came out, they were ready to practice. I think they understand the importance of getting better every day. I think they know there's a lot riding on it. We've got to continue to just push ourselves to get better. If I had to assess it, and just like I told the team, thought we looked pretty slow overall and lacked some finish. Now, sometimes that happens day one without pads, but we've got to make sure now we're pushing ourselves to play harder, to play faster, and to finish. And those are just things we just got to work through as we get through going through camp.
The cushions on the helmets for your linemen, I think that's something new this year. Is that something you had to do, or you just wanted to do to give them some extra protection?
Well, we've thought about that for a couple years now. I think you see more and more college teams going to that for safety reasons. You now see the NFL has adopted that throughout the league for safety reasons through camp. So we're going to look at it through camp on our offense and defensive line, linebackers, running backs, and tight ends, and anything that can help safety-wise, take off some hits, possibly help with limiting concussions. We want to make sure we see if this can help us.
What do you think of Kobe Lewis? And what do you think of Charlie Jones?
Well, Kobe, I think, can really help us. He'll push King there in the backfield, and just got to kind of get him up to speed on exactly the terminology and how we practice and those type of things. But I think he has talent. He's played a lot of football. He did sit out last year over an injury, so he's just got to get back in the flow once again. I think Charlie, he can play football. We're going to use him, a lot of different ways on the outside, on the inside, return kicks. He's got good receiving skills. He can run good routes. He understands football. He definitely be a big factor for us.
Quarterbacks look sharp at times today, where they were delivering the ball pretty well.
Well, I do think that Aiden has worked hard in the offseason. We hope that he builds on the finish that he had last year. And Austin, I think, has improved and can be a reliable backup. And without question, Michael and Brady Allen have both improved as well. So I think that we're going to need them all at some point, whether it's this year or beyond. And they just got to keep understanding what we're doing, and we got to figure out the things they do best. But they definitely, the young guys look better this first day than they did in the spring.
Looks like you had Bo and Craig on the right side today. I know it's still early, Jeff, but let's talk about the line a little bit.
Well, once again, it's about getting better up front overall, building depth. Right now, I think depth-wise, we're in a decent position, probably a little farther along than we've been. If we can keep those guys healthy with the ability to rotate 8 or 9 guys in that we feel really good about, and even there's about 3 or 4 others that are getting closer, that have gotten a lot of repetitions throughout the last year. So, they're working hard. They got to do all the dirty work. They get no credit. Just get a lot of blame if things don't go well. But it's a good crew, led by some veterans in Gus Harwig and Spencer, and also Eric Miller.
Of all the guys that you mentioned last week about being out early in camp, any of them getting close to getting back maybe this week, or is it still some time they need to sit out?
Well, we love to have them back for the start of camp. Right now, they've been able to do some individual and some work on the side. I think they're close. We're not going to, risk damaging them and not have them. We really need all of them for the first game without question to help us win. There are a lot of really good players that still have a little bit of ways to go in the secondary and even at receiver, and it's going to be important that we get them back.
You mentioned that Big Ten Media Day about Denson, the cornerback. He didn't play in the spring, and you probably seen tape of him. But what do you like about him that he would be a guy that you would think that would be on the field for that first game?
Well, unfortunately, he had a double sports hernia, and that just takes time. I mean, it's just not going to heal right away, and didn't get operated on until he got here. So that one is going to legitimate. He's just going to have to work through camp, and we got to hope to get him back by the first game. We haven't seen him do much in spring. He probably has a little ways to go, but I do think we can get him back for the first game if we treat these next 3.5 weeks right. He's got good size. Obviously, he needs to get in better shape because he hasn't been able to run as much, but I do think at some point he can help us, whether it's even if it's not at the beginning, hopefully by mid-season for sure.
Were you encouraged by any of the receivers you saw out there today, guys who think they need to step up this year?
Well, I think we have a good crew of guys that can all do some things. Charlie Jones will stand out at times. T.J. Sheffield, Deion Burks. Some of the other guys are not doing all of practice. Like Abdur, Rashawn Rice is able to do some. Brock Thompson wasn't able to do, teamwork. And there might be one more that I can't think of right now. But we have other guys, and they're getting better. Colin Sullivan's getting better. Preston Terrell's getting better. They still need to keep working on making consistent catches, especially up the field. They've done a better job of running routes, just making plays up the field. But Colin Sullivan had a good day today.